Hey Mad Chow family, I'm your host Chef Dali and welcome to yet another episode of Mad Chow TV. So today we're going to kick off our sweet treat series with some banana bread.
Get strong.
But before we get started, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a like so you can show us some love. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to hit that notification button so that you'll be the first to know when a new video hits. So let's get started with the ingredients that you are gonna need for this sweet treat. 3 overripe bananas, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of rice flour, 1 cup of raw cane sugar, 1/3 cup of melted butter, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, ½ a teaspoon of fine Himalayan salt or sea salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 large eggs, 1 cap of vanilla extract, and 1 tablespoon of whole milk. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour all our dry ingredients and we're going to sift them. So I'm going to start with taking my all-purpose flour, my rice flour, and I have my cinnamon, my baking soda, my baking powder, and my salt, and I'm going to pour it in there. Now you guys have to understand, it's very important to sift the dry ingredients because you're going to incorporate air into the mixture, and that's super important because it's going to determine the fluffiness of the actual batter itself. And also you want to sift all your dry ingredients to get rid of any particles that settle in the mixture. Now after that, I'm going to blend everything together. All my dry ingredients, I'm just going to blend everything together so that we get a nice even mix like this. And then after that, once all of this is blended, I'm going to form a well. You see that well? And then I'm going to sit it like that. So now we're going to go and move on to our next step, and that's adding our sugar with the melted butter. So you want all that melted butter in there. So now we pour all the melted butter in there, and then we're going to crack 2 eggs into this mix, like so. And then now when you crack the eggs into this, you want to get the fork and mix all of this well, okay? Making sure that you get the bottom of it and mix this really well. Make sure that this is really well blended, and you'll see that consistency. So this is good enough. So now after that, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go and mash the bananas. Now you might be thinking, oh, these bananas, why are they so brown? These are the best bananas you want to use because they are oxidated, and when the bananas become oxidated, they become sweeter and they contain more starch, and these are the best bananas you want to use for when you're making banana bread. So how to properly open a banana is you peel it from the bottom and you just peel it like that. And the reason why you do that is you don't want to bruise the bananas, okay? So it's always best to peel it from the bottom going down. And then you just break it apart like so. Nothing to it really. So I'm going to take the other banana. I'm going to peel that. The reason why I do the banana at the last minute, because you know when you leave it out in the air, it tends to brown quickly. So this is the last stage. Okay, so now that I've carefully peeled the bananas and broken them up into chunky pieces, I'm going to get my fork, and I'm going to use the same fork because it's all going into the same mix anyway, and I'm carefully just going to mash with my fork. I don't want to purify this or pulsate it, so I want it just to be nice and chunky, just to get a nice good mash. I personally like to have the chunks in because when you have the chunks of the banana, it makes the banana bread a lot moister. So you don't want it too pureed. You just want to give it like a nice little mash. And because these are overripe bananas, it's not going to take too much of an effort anyway. Okay, so we're going to mix it like this. And you can see, not too pureed, nice and chunky. And I'm just going to give it a nice little mix. And we are done. So now we're going to pour our wet ingredients and we're going to fold it into our dry ingredients. And I'm going to start off with this sugar, egg, and butter mix. I'm going to pour it right there. Okay, I always say waste not, want not. I hate to waste ingredients, so I'm going to scoop everything in. But these are really nice spatulas, the silicone ones, because they really scoop everything up. And then the last thing I'm going to do now is pour my banana mush mix. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold the mixture, and how you know that you carefully fold it is when you do the folding motion, you're going to form an infinity sign. So this is how we're going to fold. It's like over, under, over, under. It's amazing how I still remember this from high school when we used to do home ec. Okay, so you really want to get into that mixture, making sure that you fold in the wet mixture and your dry mix. Okay, it's coming along really well. Okay, almost done. You really want to make sure that you mix everything well. All right. Almost done here. You see why it's important to really get at the bottom so that you blend it in. You don't want to have lumps where you find that the powdery dry product is still in the mix because you haven't carefully folded the mixture. Okay. All right, we are done here. And then this is always the last part, is the whole milk, and that's just to smoothen out the mixture. And I just always, whoops, I always use a cap of vanilla extract. Okay, and we're going to do the same motion. We're going to fold it in. So this is just to make the mixture nice and smooth. So you see everything all blended in, and you notice that it's much smoother than before. You don't need too much liquid for this. All right, I think we are done here. And now we're going to move this to the baking tin where I'm going to pour all the ingredients in. Okay, so what I had done previously is I had greased and lined my tin with wax paper. The reason why you want to line it at the bottom, that's to prevent it from burning, and also it just makes it easier for the cake to come out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour the ingredients into this pan. I'm going to get everything all in there. Okay. I really like these silicones because they scoop every single thing in there. Okay, I am done here. And then a little trick is, so that I evenly distribute my mixture, I like to just give it a tap and I just shake it, and that will like evenly layer out my mixture like so. And this is good enough. All right, so now we're gonna go and put it in the oven I had already preset my oven to 325 degrees. We're going to stick it in the middle, not too high, not too low. You really don't want it too low so that you can avoid burning the bottom part of the bread. Stick it in the middle like so. And I'm going to time it for 65 minutes. So 65 minutes.
The internet isn't reachable, so I cannot set a new alarm or a timer.
Dang you, Alexa. Did you have to make that noise now? Can't you see I'm busy?
I thought you were making conversation with me. I'm sorry.
Okay, before I was rudely interrupted, so we have set our timer at 65 minutes and we'll see you in 65 minutes. Alright, 65 minutes is up. I thought it would never come, but we're gonna go and take this cake out of the oven. Now guys, the best way to test to see if the cake is ready, the banana bread, I keep saying cake, is when I poke it. If it comes out clean, you know that it's ready. Ta-da! You see it? You see it, camera guy? That's how you know it's ready. Alright, so I'm going to take this out now. And what we're going to do is we're going to let it cool for 5 minutes. It's super hot and right now you don't want to take it out because it's just going to break apart. So 5 minutes is all we need and we'll be back in 5. Alright guys, 5 minutes is up. So now we're going to go ahead and remove this bread from the pan. So what you want to do is you want to get a knife so that you can start separating the bread from the pan. Okay, like so. And then what I do is I'll take my wire rack, flip it over, give it a nice little tap, and it should come out. Ooh, what? Perfecto. So why, guys, I was saying in the beginning it's important to have that paper is when you remove it, it doesn't burn. You can see it hasn't burned. Oh, this is so good. Okay. So now after this, we're going to transfer this to my little cake tray. I'm going to flip it over like so. Now I want to demonstrate and show you what you're looking for in terms of the texture of the bread. So I'm going to cut a slice. I always like to cut from the middle because the middle part you'll get to see it up close. So as I'm cutting, you can see that steam, nice and hot. Oh boy. So I'm going to zoom in. This is what you want to look for. You see that spongy consistency of the bread? It's nice and spongy. Remember when I told you about keeping the chunks in? It provides that nice moisture of the cake. That is what you're looking for. So that's how you know for sure that you've made a really good banana bread texture and a nice mix. Okay. Oh, I've got to try this. Oh my gosh, I really love this bread. It is so nice and moist and spongy. That's why I tell you to incorporate the air, because you want a really nice and spongy texture to your cake. So this recipe actually happened by accident. It happened when I didn't have enough ingredients at the home, so I had to scramble and get things together, but it's been tried and tested and I really love this recipe because the outcome was a super moist and super delicious banana bread. So that's it for today's episode of Mad Chow TV. Tell us what you think in the comments below and let us know if there's a sweet treat that you would like for us to make. And if we pick your comment, it'll be featured in that week's episode. So until next time, I'll see you on the flip flop. Laters. Signing out.
Be strong.